Welcome to today's webinar, Virtual Cyber Competition for Students on the NICE Framework. I'm your moderator, Jimmy Baker with Cal Poly's California Cybersecurity Institute. Please hit the next slide. I want to quickly go over a few housekeeping items for today's event. I want to let everyone know joining us from all over America that today's event is being recorded. We'll also have time for your questions at the end of the event. Next slide, please. Our agenda today is we're going to have a quick few words, next slide, please, from Dr. Davina Pruitt-Mental with NIST about their program, and then we're going to take you on a virtual tour of the California Cyber Innovation Challenge. You're going to get to see a student competition based on a gamified online version using Discord. It's amazing. At the end of the event, we'll have time for your questions. I'd now like to transition over to Dr. Davina Pruitt-Mental.
Thank you so much. And we'll wait for the slides to come up, but while we're waiting for those, I wanted to just thank Jimmy and Cal Poly, California Cybersecurity Institute, for allowing me to share and for allowing NICE to be part of this exciting activity. I know that Cal Poly has always been at the forefront for career exploration for students, especially in cybersecurity. And this is just so exciting to see efforts like these that really engage and help demystify exactly what not only careers in cybersecurity, but also some of these competitions are all about that can really attract others to go into it. So my name is Davina Pruitt-Mental, as Jimmy had mentioned, and I serve as the lead for academic engagement within the NICE program office. And that is led by the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, and or led by NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is part of the U.S. Department of Commerce. And so before going on, I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that there's still time left to participate in National Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week. Today is the 5th, but there is still lots of activities going on today as well as all day tomorrow. So I hope that everybody will still participate. I know that some of you are familiar with NICE, but in case you are not, the mission of NICE, and this is actually the slide before, but that's okay, of NICE is to energize, promote, and coordinate a really robust working group together to really pull and coordinate government, academia, and industry partners, everyone who is interested in developing cybersecurity workforce, and to coordinate them together so that we're moving forward, so that, and this is why we use the quilt analogy as a way to view NICE as a means of pulling all of those different stakeholders together, all of the different rich efforts ongoing and underway, many of them that Cal Poly leads on, but a way of moving forward with the same goal in mind, and that is to really build a skilled and knowledgeable workforce in cybersecurity. Next slide. So there are many resources that you can find on the NIST website, nist.gov/NICE, but I wanted to highlight two that you can view a little more on your own that are related to NICE, the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education. One is the NICE Strategic Plan, and the other is the National K-12 Cybersecurity Implementation Plan. Next slide. The NICE Strategic Plan is due to Congress every 5 years, and the new plan was just released just a couple weeks ago, so it's hot off the press. And it basically provides a roadmap on how to prepare, grow, and sustain a cybersecurity workforce. And that's not just for safeguarding America's national security, but also the economic prosperity that comes from that. So we've spent the past year learning from the community what really worked well in the previous strategic plan, and then trying to learn from others in terms of what would help advance the mission moving forward. And so from that, we have 5 goals that surfaced. You can learn more about the particular objectives and the action items and the metrics of how we're going to measure those. But the 5 are promoting the discovery of cybersecurity careers and pathways. And I think that is really key element of this particular activity that we're participating in today, as well as transforming learning, which is also actually related to what you're doing, modernizing the talent management process, expanding the use of the NICE framework, which also addresses what you guys are doing, and then also driving research on effective practices for cybersecurity workforce development. So the next slide. The 2 frameworks, if you're not familiar with, I also invite you to go and learn a little bit more. One is the NIST cybersecurity framework, or the framework for improving critical infrastructure. It's a voluntary framework that consists of standards and guidelines and best practices to manage cybersecurity related risk. So it's the how and the what of cybersecurity. And then we have the Workforce Framework for Cybersecurity, or the NICE framework, that describes the work roles and the functions. So the NIST framework explains the what should you do or what should be done, and the NICE framework explains who should be doing that particular work. The next slide. So the NICE framework helps outline 52 different work roles, and I think that is really key in helping the public understand that there is a lot more out there, a lot more opportunities than sort of this stereotypic view of cybersecurity. It really helps, the framework helps describe to the learner what knowledge and skills are needed to perform specific tasks that are associated with different work roles. And the key here again, and this is so important, and an important part of what you're sharing here today, is to help demystify what options we have available in cybersecurity, that it's not just a one-size-fits-all, that we do need the technical. We do like to encourage, students going into engineering and computer science, but you don't have to be technical to still find your place in cybersecurity. There are multiple options, there are numerous pathways, and the big takeaway is that there is really something for everybody in cybersecurity. And only then, when we start to expand the net wider, are we going to actually start to make that deficit smaller in our workforce demand. Next slide. So you can see from the different work roles, they've all been assigned a particular work role ID, and that's aligned with what some of you might be familiar with in the standard occupational classification, or the SOC code with the Department of Labor. So that's really important. Many of our schools and at K-12 and our collegiate use that in their systems. They use it in, how many graduates do we have in X, Y, and Z, and they kind of track that, and that's the projections that you can see in terms of job outlook and projections. On the next slide. But out of all the knowledge and skills for all the different 52 work roles, there are 6 knowledge statements that are familiar across all 52 work roles. So I think a key component is that when you're developing frameworks or adopting standards or materials or opportunities or challenges, some would argue for the inclusion of at least these 6 knowledge items, because that way you're making students and educators and just the general public have cyber awareness, just generic, but also you're preparing students for all 52 work roles, no matter which direction they go. And the next slide, which I think is this, oh, no, it's not the last one. But this is another tool, cyberseek.org. It was just recently updated as well, but it also provides detailed data about supply and demand in cybersecurity job market. So at the national level, you can drill down at the state and even to the regional level. It helps viewers see common job titles. It helps explain what the work roles are in highest demand in particular areas and what certifications are requested or educational attainment is requested. So all of this is really important, again, when you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm interested in cybersecurity. I've heard it's a great job, but where are the biggest, what areas in cybersecurity are in most demand in a particular area that I'm interested in staying in or that I want to move towards? So the flavor, for lack of a better term, is that cybersecurity can change depending on, if you're in the Mid-Atlantic, it's more defense contractors. If you're in New York, it's more financial sector. So this allows to give you a little bit more data. And the next slide. And there's also a pathways tool that helps viewers see potential pathways and salary ranges and top skills requested. So it's just another helpful tool that can help steer and demystify careers in cybersecurity. And the last slide. So again, thank you for allowing NICE to be a part of this activity, as well as others that you helped us out during National Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week. It has been just a pleasure working with you guys and also seeing the impact that you have. And I look forward to not only the activity today, but also we at NICE really hope to work with you and collaborate in the future. So thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much, Davina. I really want to appreciate and give shout outs to NICE and NIST for their wonderful support in this today. And I'm super psyched to be here. My name is Henry Danielson again, and I want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm stoked and thrilled to be here today. And what we wanted to do today was we want to highlight this year's California Cyber Innovation Challenge 2020 that we had in the beginning of October. And the cool part about it is we want to demo a free cyberspace challenge, the NICE challenge we're calling it. It's based on a satellite control room for middle and high school students new to cybersecurity and the NICE framework. And we're specifically targeting today K0305, which is a knowledge of encryption, algorithms, sonography, and other forms of data concealment. So what's really interesting is this year, we had to pivot from an in-person event to an all virtual event, which allowed us many things. First of all, to reach a larger audience, and it was also a huge success. One of our successes was this year we used Discord, the gaming / communications platform that students use. We wanted to get where the students are, and it was a large success, and we're very stoked and happy that that happened. And to give you a little bit more of a background about the California Cyber Innovation Challenge, it's basically the cybersecurity championship for the state of California. And this year we had over 73 teams, and I'm so stoked to say we reached over 400 students from middle and high schools in California alone. This features a wonderful virtual immersive environment that's 3D, and it's based and used off of Amazon's web service Sumerian. And it featured a multiple space-themed set design to solve basically a cyber mystery of how a satellite was hacked. And all of the challenges were based off the NICE framework. And we're really excited for next year, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But what I do want to do is I have a few videos that I'd like to share with you. And one of the videos that we're going to open with right now is just a quick intro. And it's kind of a recap of what we were able to do at this year's event. Then we'll come back and we'll do a walkthrough of the actual challenge rooms that we had. And then today we've actually created a challenge room for you all to try today, and it'll be up permanently, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. So without any further ado, here's the vid.
Welcome to the CCIC 2020. As you know, our event is happening entirely online this year.
The next decade, they say, is going to be the decade of tech. And in that decade of tech, people like you are going to become really important.
Welcome to Mission Millennium.
Protecting data stored by satellite is more important than ever before.
Our current best practices can quickly become obsolete if we fail to continually improve.
Command and control, we have a problem.
A satellite has been compromised.
You thought you had tech before this. You haven't seen anything yet. This next decade will be smart everything, AI, everything. In that world, people that can research it, reveal vulnerabilities, are going to become incredibly valuable.
Please send out your best team to respond to this crisis.
You're not only an important part of this solution, but also at the frontier of amazing opportunities.
Each day, science fiction becomes fact with space exploration, and you can be part of it as a cybernaut.
So without further ado, I really am stoked to say we were able to garner and gather some of the premier folks in the cyber world that had to do with space. That was Renee Wynn closing us, the NASA CIO. We also had Jeff Moss, the creator of DEF CON, as well as Black Hat, one of the premier ethical hackers on the planet. And then, of course, we had Vince Cerf, and we're going to learn a little bit more about him in just a second. So our next quick video is a quick 4-minute video. It's going to show you the actual video and the rooms and what they entailed when you were actually on playing the challenge. So here we go.
This is the Network Operations Center. The overall goal of this puzzle is to gain access to the computer in the room and the files on it. When participants enter the room, they will see a traditional-looking office space designed to appear as the office of an executive at a satellite infrastructure company. Participants will use their knowledge of commonly kept passwords and passphrases, as well as contextual clues throughout the room to gain access to the computer. This is the control room, designed after a control room in a ground control station. When participants enter the room, they will see 4 main desks with monitors and several workstations underneath large projectors. Participants will have to use their knowledge of logic gates, ciphers, and general problem-solving skills to succeed in this room. This is the clean room. The overall goal of this room is to figure out how to unlock the clean room computer. When participants first walk in, they will see the outside prep area of a clean room. It is filled with personal protective equipment, such as bunny suits, foot protectors, and sticky mats. Participants will use their knowledge of Huffman coding and common clean room practices to solve this puzzle. The overall goal of this room is to access data on the crashed satellite. This room is an open outdoor landscape where a failed rocket launch crashes back down to Earth. Pieces of the satellite cover the ground surrounding a small tool shed. To solve this puzzle, participants must find out key information from the crash site and use their knowledge of coding and satellite structure. After solving all of the other rooms, students can access the courtroom to get information on potential suspects in this cybercrime.
After the participants have gone through the 3D rooms, they will have access to the instance that you're looking at with a bunch of different files and programs and challenges that they'll have to look at to try to piece together the puzzle and solve the crime that has occurred. The first one that they'll have is this program called STK Viewer. This is going to allow the participants to see satellite positions, and there's going to be some small challenges within it asking about satellite orbits, some things about missing characters and coordinates and where and when satellites were flying over what countries, and so the participants will have to answer these questions. Immediately after, they're going to go and start looking at a Raspberry Pi. There's a Raspberry Pi with a Python script that was running on it, as well as some CSV files that were captured from it. And this is going to pair with a Wireshark PCAP, which is going to be taken from the crime scene, and they're going to also find CSV logs connections and other things that are going to help them pinpoint who exactly is the culprit behind this crime. They're then going to go to autopsy, where they can look through the people's computer that is being imaged and under investigation after picking it from the 3D virtual courtroom set. This is going to require them to have an understanding of file systems, common data hiding techniques, such as hiding files, moving things to the trash, putting things in obscure files, and a few other things that we'll save for the challenge. And then finally, they're going to have a satellite code that was running that simulates a satellite's operating system and allows the participants to interact with the peripherals. And so this will let you look at the altitudes, temperature, motion, electronics, transmissions of it, and then also ping the satellite and see why it crashed and what has occurred here. So we're excited to have the participants go through the challenge and share what we've made with you.
All right. So that is, first of all, an amazing video that was all student generated from Cal Poly students. And I also wanted to say that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. These are students, Cal Poly college students, that created the entire challenge with some support from myself and other administrators and other professionals out in the field. So the next thing that I'd like to do is kind of highlight what we've done today. And this is kind of fun. We've actually created a one-off room from the challenge. And this is a solutions video. And I'm not going to play all of it because I want you all to be able to try it in a couple minutes. But I wanted to play a couple seconds. And basically, it's a walkthrough video that will show you how to solve the actual challenge puzzles. Hey, how's it going? My name is Henry Danielson. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the Nice Practice Challenge Room, the walkthrough write-up, and some solutions to this room. So, hey, how's it going? My name is Henry Danielson. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the nice, sorry about that. The next thing I'd like to do is talk a little bit about our students and the NICE framework. They worked really hard to, bring that to a wonderful piece of our challenge. And real quick, I'd like to escape out of this, and I want to show you our webpage. And this is at Cal Poly. It will be in the chat, as well as we're going to have this recorded webinar being placed here. And this talks a little bit about the video that we've done, the process of mapping the CCIC to the NICE framework, how we did it, and adapting it for middle and high school students, and a little map where we've been in the past California Cyber Innovation Challenges, the benefits and the impact. And then down here at the bottom, this is actually what we would love for you to try today. So a couple things I wanted to highlight about this. Number one, entering the practice room. That will look like this. When you click this link, it will actually take you to a room and you hit close. And these are critical components, helpful hints. You always want to look around and you'll be able to walk through with this. What's also critical about this is we've given you the video walkthrough, which I started to show you. And then also we have the actual walkthrough guide. So let me take a peek at that as well. And I won't show you everything because I want you to be able to try it without doing anything. But this gives you a one step-by-step how to go through. This is the link to the activity, which is the Sumerian link. And it also describes the actual knowledge, the KOA, the NICE one. And then also as you roll down here, it walks you through each step on actually how to go through the challenge. So what I'd like to do is actually charge all of you with that to actually go to this link, and we're going to put it in the chat, and you'll be able to have the practice challenge video walkthrough as well as this PDF walkthrough as well. How long is this going to be up? Great question. It will be up permanently. And we're very proud that this is actually happening. And we're really stoked to be able to help some of you learn how to do a little bit of cybersecurity and take a look at secret codes and other things, Caesar ciphers and those type of things in it. So let me jump back onto this really quick. So we have one more slide I'd like to tell you about. So next year, the 2021 CCIC, we are going to be having a planning meeting on December 16th. Again, this will also be available in the webinar, the link. We'd love for you to register and reach out. We're trying to get more participants from all over the place. And I'm really excited. This year, again, we'll be doing space. The Space Grand Challenge is what we're probably going to name that. We're still working in the early stages. And again, I'm really honored for anyone. I'd like to open it up to any questions today. If there's any questions, you can pop them in the chat and we'll try to get back to you as swiftly as possible. And then if not, we're going to go ahead and have you try it out. And if you did not get it, we'll be putting it in the chat, these two links. The bottom one is the Sumerian one that'll let you try it, as well as the link for the webinar. That will be on the webpage after it's been recorded today. So we won't have a link for the webinar until the end of the day today, and it'll be posted on that website. So I really appreciate all of your attendance today. I'm super stoked to hopefully you get to try it out. Please share it. It's allowed to do with anyone, and we hope young people out to places and how to do that. There's a couple questions on there. What are the dates for the team to register competition? We don't have those yet. We're still working on it. It is 2021 and we're not quite there yet. We're still in the planning stages. But anyway, very stoked for everyone on the call today. And again,
we had one question come in through registration. We have a national audience listening in today, and I thought this was a great question worth talking about. You know, they said that all this sounds really great, but what do they do if they don't really have a cyber program or a cyber coach to help get a bunch of students ready? What are some resources that can be offered to them?
Yeah, so we're working right now with a Cyber to Schools. We're working with large companies like Verizon, Cisco, Dell, other professionals that are out there, and we're trying to team them up with coaches. I really think that what's really great about the resources that are available to you, if you reach out to us, hopefully we can put you in connection to someone that would like to be a coach for your team. What mostly happens with these cyber teams and cyber after school programs is those coaches just have to be a warm body in the room. Most of the time, the students do a lot of the driving. And we have wonderful, wonderful resources available at Cal Poly CCIC. And we've developed a wonderful relationship with a lot of other companies. So I hope that we can get you connected and start a team that you may want to do, even though you may not have the technical coach. Hopefully we can get to do that. One of the questions is, which type of coding language do you prefer? Is it previously used coding languages? So this last CCIC, we use C++, we use Python, we use some batch files. We did a few different ones that were out there. We wanted you to basic Linux commands to be able to understand. So we used a myriad of different coding. But anyway, we're very excited. Next year, again, it will be space related, the Space Grand Challenge, and we're really excited about that. I think that's all the questions I have in there. I'll do one more minute in case someone comes up with a question. Otherwise, we would love for you to try out our mini challenge, the nice challenge that we've created for you. I think you'll have a good time trying that today. All right, without any other further ado, thank you for joining us today. Oh, there are two questions, one worth answering. Okay, go ahead. I don't know what the question is. Are there any other mini challenges we have? No, not yet. This was one we just worked on this past month to have this webinar. So we'll be working on some current ones. Please stay tuned and check our website for the NICE area.
Henry, I guess, I don't know if you can see, but there's one question here. It says, what age group or grade levels does this challenge target?
Yeah, so middle school and high school is where our target audience is. Any other questions? Brian, Jimmy? All right. Sounds great. Thank you all for coming. Have a great day. This will be posted on our website, so you'll be able to watch this later, and please try our challenge. Have a great day today. Thank you. Thanks, Earl. Thanks, Davina, again, and everyone that attended.